Hello, everyone. We are today introducing a person, one of the founders of a project called Perpetual Plastic Project, and well, its main company called the Better Future Company as well, or factory, sorry. Basically, they are taking plastic, who is used in our daily basis in parties or events, from the glasses and other uh, utilities that we usually um, take in these events, and they are converting it through a 3D printing machine in some products who they are creating. So basically, he's using a really good experience in recycling, and you should listen about it since he is the Gaspard boss. He is the navigator of this project, and well, he's gonna be talking more about the project. So welcome, Gaspard.
Yeah, thank you, Ricardo. As Ricardo said, my name is Gaspard Bos. I'm the navigator of the Perpetual Plastic Project, and I have the same title as well in my design company, Better Future Factory. Better Future Factory is all about doing projects that are for social good or good for the environment. And we are a design company. And actually, one of our first projects that we started was the Perpetual Plastic Project that we started about 2 years ago. This project was actually, we got an assignment to do something with plastic waste at festivals. And festivals, you can see them as temporary communities that create a lot of waste. And because people are partying, they even throw away more than they would usually do in their normal lives. So this is a really interesting case actually to start to think, okay, how can we stop this waste, right? So what we tried to think of was, okay, we have to give people a reason to not throw away their waste anymore. And because we were all studying at a technical university, so we had learned about 3D printing already. We were thinking this is an ideal way to create objects for people that are personal, that people will want to have. And if we were able to create them from plastic waste, then we can solve this problem. So this is what we tried to do. We went to prototype these machines. And when we did the launching, actually 2 years ago in 2012, August 2012, the prototype was really not perfect. So it was still really a lot of work to change a drinking cup into a 3D printed product. But it did work. So we proved that it could work, and we made a lot of people happy with 3D printed rings. And now we are 2 years down the road, and we are still doing the same thing. So we are still really all about showing people where's the value in your plastic waste, so that we open people's eyes and that they will look differently at plastic products that they have, so that they will not throw it away in nature, but that they will realize, okay, this is raw material that can be used to make new things, and we do it in front of their eyes. And this is really what the Perpetual Plastic Project is still all about. Last week we were in Qatar, in Doha, Qatar, for the International Telecommunications Conference. And this was a really great thing for us because we really tried to spread our project as internationally as possible. Because, I mean, the waste issues are internationally, and even nationally, they are very different. But internationally, of course, there's a lot of waste issues to be solved. Africa, we met people from Africa. Africa has a long way to go to get recycling going. So these are the kind of countries that we are thinking about, and that we really want to expand our project to.
All right, great to listen that you are thinking globally and that you plan to expand this project to recycle the waste and make it useful again, and make it globally, of course. And I would like to know, well, it's curious the name of the team, or related to how you call each other in the team, maybe because it's not usual. And I would like to know, well, how was it? establish the team? You mentioned that you were, of course, maybe you were studying together at the university, but how do you get together and have this big idea of the better future factory and get together and make it? And of course, how did you define these names that you have? Like, because for you, for example, you are the navigator, I knew the carpenter, and so it's really funny actually. But well, I imagine that you have, of course, this logic and each of your roles and basic on your personality and all this stuff. So well, I leave you to explain it better.
That's a really nice question, actually. I love to talk about it because we were actually two groups of friends. One of them was already finished studying, and one of them was still studying. But we both were groups that had a really like a passion for making things, because we realized the power if you really make something, if you take it beyond a concept and you show people something that really works. This is really powerful, and I think that's a lot of, we are all students from design education, but this is our personal vision on design, that you have to make stuff. So this was funny, that because we were two groups, in fact, working on more or less the same thing, and then we found each other, and then we realized we have to join forces, because we really had like the same things in mind, but we also had complementary skills, and this is where the titles come from, and they are all nautical terms, because we see ourselves a little bit, well, when we first envisioned our project, we saw ourselves a little bit as pirates. We try to do projects that kind of make an intervention, that kind of go against a little bit against the establishment. Of course, if you're looking to change the world, you're going to have to tear down some bridges. So this is kind of where the whole pirate thing came from. So I'm the navigator, right? Because I'm a little bit more about the whole story and about the concepts. So that's why I'm also doing this interview. It's because I'm the one who can best elaborate on the vision, so to say. And then we have our captain, Jonas, and he is really about he is really about the business, right? So he is the one who talks to clients and investors first, because he really has a good mind for that. And then we have Bart, the cook, and we call him the cook because he is the best designer of all of us. He can really think in a design way and cook up the best designs, basically. Then we have Lara, who is the carpenter, and we were thinking like maybe to change the name of carpenter a little bit, because it sounds a little bit like she's not really skilled, but actually she is the most skilled prototyping. I guess you could, in a normal company, she would be called a prototyping officer. So she is the most skilled at that. She had already been working as a freelance designer before we started this project. And Gaspard, the gunner, we call him the gunner because he is about production mostly. Really, he's about the materials. He's really a materials guy, actually. He's really good with different kinds of materials, and also with thinking like how can we produce things. So this is kind of the vision in the team.
All right. Thanks for all the explanation about each of the people in the team. So it's nice to know all of this. And basically, I want to know as well, is Perpetual Plastic Project the first project of Better Future Factory, or is just one of these projects? Um, as well, I wanted to know what is the impact as well in the Netherlands, who is the headquarter of of your team, and well, and maybe the impact if you have it yet on other areas of Europe or more far away.
So the first question is, Is the Perpetual Plastic Project the first project? Yeah, it's the first project of Better Future Factory. And now there are two other really big projects running. One of them is a project in Angola, Africa, where we are also looking at plastic waste, but we are really looking at how can we. The project has a different take. It's really looking how can we stimulate local people to start a business using plastic waste. So stimulating local entrepreneurship. This is one of our biggest projects right now. And the biggest project in the making is that we are looking at scaling up the things that we do with perpetual plastic. So we are working with municipalities and with recyclers, really at an industrial scale, to see how we can transform waste into 3D printer material. So that basically means that we will be selling recycled cartridges for 3D printers to the 3D printer market. And then your question is, the second part of your question is, what is the impact of this? And of course, the impact of the Perpetual Plastic Project is mostly related to awareness. So it's really hard to measure awareness, right? It's you can only measure it by, I guess, by other things that happen that are inspired off of our project. But I see a lot of those, so that I don't know. We cannot take credit for all of it, but I think we're definitely part of a movement that is trying to change people's mindsets. But then again, the other projects that I just mentioned, so the project in Angola, Africa, and the project to create recycled 3D printed cartridges, that we can really measure in terms of, okay, in Angola, how much jobs did we create? How much waste are we actually going to transform into products for the local market? And it's the same thing with recycled cartridges. We are really turning municipal solid waste into new products by supplying it to the 3D printed market, instead of transporting it all over the world and or burning it even.
All right, good. I wanted to ask you as well, what is the business model of Perpetual Plastic Project?
Right. So the funny thing is that we didn't have a business model in mind when we started the project. We just thought, okay, we need to create something like this to show what we are about as a design company. But then the business model kind of came into existence because we started getting requests for doing appearances at festivals or at events. So right now it's actually become a real business, and we didn't really invent it, it just kind of invented itself. We basically get paid by the event organizer. So the event organizer wants to do something about their waste management, or they want to inspire people, or they want to change people's mindsets. And then we are basically the service that this event manager hires. And then for that we create we have a couple of standard installations that we have made, but we also really like to think about creating custom installations for depending on what the client wants, because that's what we're really good at. We're really good at seeing, like, okay, for which context do we need to have what kind of solution.
All right, good. Well, basically, you told me you didn't start with any business plan. Did you just started because you are passionate about this? All the team was passionate about the project, and well, just do it, and you will figure it out during the path. So that's and well, but during this path, of course, you learn different lessons, and maybe it would be great if you can mention like one of the three lessons that you can mention to us that you have learned about starting a social businesses in your context right now in the Netherlands? How easy is to start a social business, and how are the lessons that you have learned during this?
Yeah, so the one of the lessons that we learned, uh, which is really important, is we are kind of naive as designers and as even as sustainability designers to think that people will change their behavior. Because what we found out with the Perpetual Plastic Project, especially, is that people also just want things. So when we give them a ring made from their plastic waste, is that really changing their minds about what they think about the waste, or is that just because they wanted an object, a new object, you know? So one of the lessons that we learned is like, I guess, that you can only influence people to a certain level, but you can never raise complete awareness. So if you want to create sustainable impact, you sometimes also have to just take people's actual behaviors into account and try to work with that. So that's one lesson. Another lesson that we are learning constantly as a startup is how to manage our cash, which is, yeah, I mean, you have to, as a startup, it's you don't have a continuity that a business that existed, a business that has existed for 10 years. They have existing clients, they have a track record, they have existing product portfolio which they can rely on. So they have previous figures which they can base their future predictions off, right? But we don't have any precedent. So we are just creating new things all the time, which we don't know if they're going to work. So if you know that something works, if there is something that a customer is willing to pay for, then that is worth a lot to you as a startup. So you have to be really aware what those things are, and because that's the way that you're going to survive. And we don't have we never really got a really high investment when we started. Right now we are thinking a little bit more about making investments or about attracting investors. But this is I think it's a good way to learn as a startup without having a really big investment, because then you're more careful about what do you spend your money on and what do you focus on when you're developing your product. So that's lesson number 2. And then lesson number 3 is that your team is the most important thing ever. This is true for large companies, but also even more so for small companies. You have to be able to trust each other completely. And this is also when you're going to let new people into your team. This is a really the most important thing ever, that you can trust people. Trust comes first, and then comes the qualifications. Someone might be really good at designing or at selling products, but if you cannot trust that person, then it's not worth letting them onto your team. Those are the 3 lessons.
All right, great. Thanks to share all of these lessons. They are really great, of course. And I would like to know which are the products that you have been producing during this time, during these 2 years, based on these events that you have been going and getting this plastic. And as well, if you can mention which are the next steps of the project, and what do you see for the future of the project?
All right. So the first question, if I understand right, is what kind of products have we been 3D printing. Am I right? Um,
Yeah.
we haven't been focusing on it on it a lot, I must say. We have a little project where we are designing a fin for surfboards. So the fin that goes under the surfboard that you use to go through the wave. And it actually already works. So this is really to prove that you can make also really functional objects with a 3D printer that are for consumers, because what I think that we can still do with our company is really see where is the functionality for consumers, for the average consumer, and not for the maker with his 3D printer that can design anything that he wants and can just print it to make his prototype, basically. So this is really, of course, where 3D printing should now focus on on these kind of designs that are adjustable. So this is what 3D printing is really good for, that it's custom to a person. So this can be in medical science as well, prosthetics, but it can also be just if you can personalize a consumer product, you can perhaps lengthen, make it have a longer life, because the user has a higher attachment to the product. Does that kind of answer your question?
Yeah, it is. Thanks. Well, now we can talk about the next step of the project and what do you have for the future?
Yeah. So really the next step is what I already mentioned. It's producing these recycled cartridges for the 3D printer market. This is really exciting because we want to prove that you can print with recycled material and still have a good quality print. And this requires a lot of testing. And it's we're still not there yet, but we know that we can get there. So this is really the next step for our project, and it's going to be really exciting. And then after that, we will have to see. I mean, we also, with Better Future Factory, we try to look already beyond plastic and plastic waste. So to see which other issues we want to address in the future. And one of them is food. So we are already starting small projects, small research and development on the issue of food scarcity.
All right. Thank you. Well, I think we are okay with all the information we have getting right now, but I would like to give you the time to, if you can tell us, for example, if there is someone who is interested who participate in some of the events where you are recycling the plastic and washing the machine, how it works and all this stuff, and how could they contact you on the social networks or different numbers? And well, I would say just thank you for all the information you have given us today. And well, good success with all your project. And well, the future that is just coming is finishing 2014 and is coming 2016. And of course, it's going to look a great and promising idea of you and all the next step that you are developing.
So thank you, Ricardo. Yeah, I just want to finish off by saying this was a really nice interview. Really nice to talk in this free manner about our company, and I really like to share that information. So if you want to stay in touch, you can find us on www.perpetualplasticproject.com, and if you Google for Perpetual Plastic, you will find us definitely. Or you can look on our website of the design company, betterfuturefactory.com. So that's a factory that is creating a better future, obviously. And there you can also check out the other projects that we did or that we are starting And yeah, hope to stay in touch.
All right. Thank you very much to you, Gaspard, and well, see you later.
Yeah, thank you. See you.